Danke hype you up.
Hello and welcome to Total Health by Charlie. I am Charlie. With me today I have Nomathamsanqa M, our guest, to talk about a little something, things that she's gone through, things that she's felt, had to feel, still feels some of them. But let me not hog all the lights. Noma, hi.
Hi, great to be here. I don't really know what to say as like an intro, but I guess I'm really excited for what we're going to talk about.
Me too. I'm actually, how does it feel being our first guest?
It's exciting. I feel like I'm breaking ground for something new, something interesting.
You know?
Yeah.
For those who don't know, which are probably everybody, the purpose of this is a safe space, to provide a safe space for you to just talk. You know, I myself have personally been in situations where I wish I could just say something without judgment, say something without fear of how I will be seen or thought of after. With that said, I will keep the comment section open, but if it takes the nasty social media turn that they normally do, I will just disable them. We are here trying to help people feel better. You know, being the coach, having a sports psychology background, I'm trying to find a ground where people can just do this for free. So if you are a listener, you try to listen to Nomathamsanqa M's story, maybe put yours in perspective, maybe learn from her, maybe try to avoid what she went through. You know, don't be scared to try out new things, new possibilities, whereas now you are listening, you don't have to go to a support group because apparently that shows weakness. That's societal pressure and toxic masculinity, things like that, where you can't just speak out, you can't just be free. Here at Total Health, we want you to be free. Be able to do one push-up, because those are hard, and also be able to speak your mind. Just vent out and be free. So right now, we are just going to listen to Norma, help out here and there, and just show her support, kindness, and compassion, which I think she needs. Norma, I would like you to just start by introducing yourself as in who you are, maybe. Just, I'm sure a lot of people are guessing how old you are. Keep guessing.
Forever.
Guessing forever. I mean, I would guess too, but if I say words and they are a number, I might eat this laptop. So, yes.
So my name is Nomathamsanqa, or just Noma. I'm called just Noma. I work in marketing and advertising. I love photography. I'm also a part-time photographer. I do like trick dances and all that other stuff. I write poetry. I'm just a very like creative kid. I've always been a pretty creative kid. That's pretty much me. Just anything from photography to poetry, writing, drawing. I try to draw.
So you live on your creativity,
basically.
Because I'm listening with the marketing as well, it kind of links into that.
Essentially, I turned my hobby into my salary. As I should, though.
As you should, though, right?
I'm not trying to be a corporate girl. I could never survive in corporate. It looks scary.
It is. I'm going to say that and not look directly at the camera, but it is.
No thanks.
It's a scary place, okay? It's a pleasure to have you here once again.
Thank you.
Yes.
So, where should I start? I think I kind of really want to focus on my own journey through depression and try to be depression and anxiety, and try to be as honest and open about that as possible. I think there's a lot of people who are dealing with depression and don't want to say anything because of whatever expectations or societal expectations or Yeah.
Yes.
But my journey starts when I was about 9. Yeah. So I was 9 years old. I was living with my parents. I went to Valcom for holidays. I came back and they're like, hey, we're not doing this thing of being together anymore. And I was like, what? And
I'm hoping that wasn't the tone.
oh, no, it wasn't.
Okay.
No,
okay.
it was just like, I tried to make it funny because if I don't laugh, I'll cry.
Oh, I get that.
But yeah, they were just like, listen, we're not doing this anymore. We're like splitting up. And I'm like, at 9 years old, I'm thinking, what do you mean? Like, is it my fault? What did I do? Kind of blaming myself. But, grateful for my mom because she was just like, no, it's not your fault. You didn't do anything. It's just an us thing. So the way that they had explained it was just a split. So it wasn't like a divorce.
Okay.
Ended up moving. Moved to like a 1-bedroom with my sister and my mom. And then my dad just dipped for a while. I don't resent him for it. Had to forgive him. I think it was very important for me. And then eventually he showed up and he had like a whole family and I was just like, okay, cool. So this is the direction that we're going in, essentially. And yes. I was like, okay. But we got along and stuff like that. And then when I was in grade 5, I had to move to the Free State with my sister. Moved to go live with my granny. And then that in itself just caused a lot of displacement because it was like, now you've taken me out of the comfort of I have my parents to just being with one parent to now just not having them at all and just basically being in charge of my sister and having to go live with my grandparents, which was very heavy. But we did that for a year. I made some really good friends. I was bullied. I got punched in the face, actually.
Okay.
Anyway, but yeah, it was a stupid thing, but I got punched in the face. I was sort of almost the odd one out at school because everybody was like speaking Sotho and all that stuff, and here I am, this like girl that twangs, doesn't understand the language. But I made some really good friends. I met some really cool people. I started doing theater there actually.
Okay.
Got into that. Moved back this side, went to a completely different school. I met some really great people, some people who are like my closest friends right now, but I had to deal with my own depression, I had to deal with my own body issues. And I think by like grade 6 or grade 7, that's when I was diagnosed with clinical depression. It was a very difficult journey because on the one hand, I had like my family members telling me, oh, we need to pray for you. Oh, you have a demon. Oh, listen.
Yeah.
Been through 3 a.m. prayer. Okay. Waking up to be like, listen, we need to pray for you. And I'm just like, what do you mean? At some point, I had to stop taking medication because I didn't believe in it. It was very hard to tackle the fact that I know that there's something wrong and I know that I need to get help, but you're constantly being told that no, we need to pray for you. You need to go to church more.
I want to touch on that being woken up at 3 a.m. part. As a person who has gone through depression himself, do you know how hard it is to fall asleep?
Right? And then now, in like, you probably fell asleep at like 2 a.m.
Yes.
To be then woken up at 3.
For a prayer.
And you're sleep deprived. And you're annoyed. And you're still just going along with this thing. Yo, listen.
Yes.
No, it was frustrating. But we got through it. And I mean, I know they had good intentions. I know that they were trying to do the best that they could with the information that they had. But I think it's very important to always do research, do extra research to find out what exactly is this, how can I then be there for this person? Because I remember the one question they used to pose for me was, what should we do for you? How do you want us to help you? And it's like, I don't understand what's going on with me. I don't understand what this is. I don't know how to tell you to help me.
Yes.
But yeah, it was insane. But after that, after my diagnosis, I ended up changing schools again. And then I think it was in grade 8. Yeah, so second term of grade 8, I changed schools. And even then it was just a roller coaster because now I went from a pretty small school to like a government school and there was all these people and all of like this peer pressure, and I started doing things that I am not proud of. I'm really not proud of.
Do I need to bleep these parts out?
I'm not gonna mention them. I don't think I'm ready to.
Safe.
Yeah, no.
Safe.
I don't need to be incriminated on the internet.
Oh, Total Health and Charlie are not held liable for what Nomathamsanqa says.
I'll take it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Everything that is said does not. What is it? It doesn't represent the views.
The views
of the
of
show.
Total Health. Yes.
Yeah. So I did some pretty messed up stuff in high school. Nothing major. Like I didn't do like drugs. I think the craziest thing I did was like smoke weed.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was as far as it went. And then in late grade 9, I had to get admitted after a failed suicide attempt. It was pretty emotional because I think that was the first time everyone realized that, oh snap, this is actually serious. Like this girl tried to eliminate herself, you know. And I remember just waking up and everyone was just in the room. Like my aunt was there, my dad came from Joburg to Centurion to come see me, like, and everyone was just worried and crying. And I think because at the time I was more mad at myself because I was like, I can't even kill myself.
I want to focus on the failed. So you felt like you even failed at suicide at this point.
Yeah, because it's like I'm failing at life. I'm not doing that great at school. Like everything doesn't make sense. And now the one thing that I had the assurance that I could do, I couldn't. And I think that also kind of just dragged me deeper into the depression. I think I was almost at like a tipping point then. So I had to get admitted. And I remember this was around December because, it was around December of grade 9. I got admitted for 2 weeks. It wasn't that bad. It was really cool. I learned about myself. I was in an environment that was outside of what I was used to. And it meant that I could talk to people who were going through the same thing that I was. Yeah. And that's why I'm huge on going to get admitted. Like, if you feel that you are not okay, do it. Because then you'll meet people who know what you're going through, or at least are able to understand the things that you're going through and are able to relate to what your struggles and such. But that was an experience on its own. That was, I think, for a lot of my family members, to them it was like, oh, this girl is crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like, oh, okay, now she's getting admitted, like, she's definitely crazy. And it was like, no, I had to. Because I think if I hadn't gotten admitted, I wouldn't have learned so much about myself, about my own mental illness, and I wouldn't have been able to realize that, okay, well, if I do have depression, if I do have anxiety, if I do have all of these things, this is how to deal with them. These are the healthy coping mechanisms and such. And then after that, I ended up changing schools again. Yeah. So I was for grade 10. So that whole year of grade 10, I was at a completely different school. And even then, I was just going through, that was probably one of the lowest points in my life, because I was away from all of my friends. I was in some school in the middle of Midrand. I didn't know anyone at the school. I couldn't go. If I had to go home, I'd have to wait for my mom to come pick me up around 5.
Okay.
And then there was also just traffic going to Centurion, so I'd get home around 6 or 7:30, or she would drop us off at her friend's house because they were working together at the time. So it was like I get to school, and the school was also the church building.
Okay.
So I was basically at school and at church every day. So I think that routine kind of got a bit overwhelming because it's like I didn't have room to do other things. It was just homeschool and church, and then occasionally visiting my mom's friend, which I guess was fine. But after that, I ended up changing schools again. Oh no, in that year, I met the love of my life. That's a whole other story. And then in grade 11, grade 12, moved to a different school. And then I was in a toxic relationship, a extremely degrading relationship that now I'm able to look at and be like, I think there was a lot that I had to learn about myself in that relationship. Okay. And there were a lot of things that I had to learn about other people. Because I was very naive, I was very trusting, I was very much like, if you're coming at me, you're obviously going to come at me with the best intentions. But I had to
Yes.
learn that, listen, not everyone has the best intentions. Not everyone wants the best for you. Some people just want to hurt you. But yeah, I had to learn about myself. I had to learn that I shouldn't let people in too easily. I should give people, when I see the red flags, I should be able to walk away from them instead of thinking, oh, maybe it was just a one-time thing, or, maybe just whatever reasons we seem to come up with to defend people's red flags. And not your wishy-washy red flags, like you are shouting at me in public.
Wait a minute. Okay. What?
Listen.
The stuff that people joke about on TV, kind of.
That type of stuff where you look, where it's like, oh, this person got into a fight with the teacher. Oh, it's probably not that bad. They were just a verbal altercation. Or this person tried to hit one of the girls at school, and you're thinking, okay, it's probably, like, you keep convincing yourself that it's really not that bad. I'm probably just overreacting, and but they're going through their own stuff. But in reality, people always show themselves to you, and it's your then choice to decide, am I going to deal with whatever this is in the extremities, or am I going to walk away before it then affects me in a negative way? So yeah, I think that in itself was a learning curve, it was an experience. And then he broke up with me in the end of matric. And after that I did a leadership at Discovery, which I think triggered me so much because I went from high school, toxic relationship in high school, to working in corporate.
Okay.
Which in itself was just a huge jump because now I'm still dealing with the trauma of whatever it was that happened, and now I have to deal with the stresses of having a job and like money and not having the correct financial understandings and all that stuff, because now here I am earning this huge sum of money and I've never had this much money before. I don't know what to do with it.
Okay.
And I blew it.
Oh.
But anyway, so just being at Discovery as well was very triggering for my depression. I almost got admitted after a failed attempt, but I didn't. I still went back to work. And yeah, I think even in that time, the people that I spoke to, the people who were with me were trying to help me as best as they could. But I think when you've been in this thing for so long, especially at that age, you think, I've been depressed, I've been trying to do this thing, people must be tired.
I get that. I get that. It's like your situation keeps not changing and people are on that, still.
Exactly.
Yes, it's like people are like, still.
Like, I thought you'd be over this by
now. Yeah. It's not a scratch or a scab or even a scar that you can that heals and passes. I get that part. I'm sorry to interject there. I want you to catch a little breath because I don't know if you're listening, but you've covered so many areas in this time. I mean, let's go back 10 minutes ago. We could have done this show on just bullying.
True.
Yes. True. We could have done this show on just bullying. So, see what you're saying now. I want you to catch your breath, hydrate, because I want to interact with you and the viewer. Please remember, I am not a counselor and this is not a counseling session.
This is just gossip.
It's a safe space where we are just talking, yes. That one where you say still, it does get that way where now you even feel like, okay, I can't go back. Like if it can even come to, it's so sneaky. It can even come to, you wouldn't even want to come back to total health.
That's true.
You wouldn't even want to come back to total health and be like, season 2 or season 3, and I'm here with Nomathamsanqa. In the back of your mind, when you're suffering with these mental difficulties, which is depression, anxiety, you'll be thinking, people will be like, this girl again. What's this girl again. And that's not how it works. That is not how it works. And the purpose of you say you recommend being admitted. If I can, I will raise the volume on that. I will put clapping hands on that during the editing, because what you can do, please do it. What you can do, please do it. In this journey, what you can do, please do it. And never feel bad about where it's been a while now and you've done nothing, and then you're like, okay, now it's gonna be like, how come I haven't done something about it? Like for me, I'll say it, I'm 29 years old and I've got 19-year-old issues, 9-year-old issues that still trigger me personally, and they trigger me as if they happened today. And there's a 10 or 20-year gap between today and then, but they still hit as if they just happened. It's so small, it's so sneaky. It's so small, it's so sneaky. It could just be a phrase. Someone saying, like to me, I'll give you an example. To me, there's this Zulu word called ubudedema. God, I hate that.
What does it mean?
It means you're a crybaby.
Oh, wow.
It means, you know that wah. That's exactly, actually, let's forget crybaby. It's wah. But it means that. But that word triggers me so hard because the times where it's been said to me, that person could have said nothing and I may have been better. But no, I'll tell you at that day. Yeah, but now I've forgiven those situations. I've moved past them, but I'm trying to put a highlight on triggers. On triggers where if someone says that, even as a joke,
it's not a joke.
I don't care what conversation we're having, it's done. It's done. And now what hurts me is the way it triggers me, it actually feels like Ingatete. Now this is an internal issue. Now this is an internal issue where it's like now, when someone, after I've been triggered, it's like, hey, maybe they were right all along.
Maybe I am a crybaby.
Maybe I am a crybaby. Maybe I do wah a lot. You know? Maybe I do, but I know I don't. I know I don't. So, okay, you're good now, you're back.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think just to touch on that, I think when you, for me it's talking a lot, being very sensitive, and being a big girl, because I was a big girl growing up.
Yeah.
But I think it was that thing where the talking a lot thing, for example. I love to talk. I want to tell you things. Like I'm constantly learning all this information. Like let me relay it to you.
Yeah.
And then they would always be like, "You talk too much." And it's like,
ooh.
Okay, I'm sorry. And then you start apologizing for being excited about something, or you start apologizing for the way that you react to things, or the way
being you.
Exactly. Like you're apologizing for being yourself.
You're apologetic for being Nomathamsanqa.
That is horrible. And I think in this time I'm learning that it's okay. Like some people might think I talk a lot, and that's fine, that's your opinion, but I have a lot to say, and I have a lot that I want to impart to you. But then it's like there's a lot of information, so obviously I'm going to try and put it all together and give it to you, or wrap it in a specific way. So, but with that, I think it is very horrible how people do that to us, how people will, as a child, sort of diminish you almost and break your spirit, and they don't realize that 10, 20 years down the line, you're still going to be hearing their voice in the back of your head.
Yes.
Everything you do, everything you say, it will always be almost manipulated by them. Because now it's like you can't do something without thinking about what they said to you. You can't act a certain way without thinking, oh, maybe I'm doing this particular thing. Parents, do better. Parents, please. Can't have another generation of traumatized children.
You know, there was something I saw recently, and it made me, I didn't want to post it because I know thousands of people who take it personally. It said, it's hilarious to see the older generation catch feelings when we treat their kids exactly how they treated us. It was a matter of, well, yeah, karma.
Like karma is a real thing.
And sometimes it's not even, I thought of a certain situation, sometimes it's not even intentional.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not even intentional because that person's father or that person's mother or that person's grandmother used to talk to you in this manner. You talk in this manner at that place. But now, because it's towards someone that's more dear to their heart, it's different. You know, you can't be shouting.
But the thing is, people don't understand that as a child. If I grow up watching people shouting, of course I'm going to shout because it's the norm. This is what I've grown up with. If you're going to treat me a certain way, I am then going to grow up believing that this is a norm. Yes. And then when I then project that norm onto you, you'll be like, oh, but you're so disrespectful. No, sweetie. You taught that to me. This is what you showed me. This is what I've learned. These are the things I've picked up.
You taught me that when you are having a stressful day, you would like me to shut the fuck up. So right now I'm having a stressful day. Could you kindly shut it? You know?
Respectfully.
Like,
shut up.
Yeah. This is what I learned. This is what I learned. So it is like that, where there are these things that come back, no matter how much you don't want them to. No matter how much you don't want them to, they come back and they get to you. And the purpose of total health is this. But before I tell you that, Nomathamsanqa,
yes, sir.
Do you feel like you've done something worthwhile right now?
I do. I think in sharing my story, I'm giving people the opportunity to see that, listen, I'm also still healing. I'm still trying to overcome this. I may not be in the place that I was where I wanted to like end it all. I'm okay with being alive. I'm content with where I am. I think sometimes the thoughts come and they'll always come back, or stuff will always trigger you, but it's the wanting to help people, because I think when you're in that space, you know how bad it is.
Yes.
And I think that gives you then the strength to be like, let me try to help someone, let me try to lend a hand to the next person. So that's what I want to do, just be able to find whatever platform I can to help people and let them know that it's gonna be okay.
It is gonna be okay, as long as you don't give up. It is going to be okay. Ladies and gentlemen, before I get into trouble for that, people, viewers, I feel like, viewers. If you are watching this, I identify you as a viewer. So how you identify, I mean no offense. Right now, today, here you have been on this emotional roller coaster with me, where I was like, you can't speed past that though. that was my review, where it's like I was punched in the face, and then I changed schools. It's like, wait a minute,
let's just backtrack a little bit.
Back it up. Wait a minute, Wait
a damn minute.
Wait a minute. So we've heard about depression, we've heard about healing, we've heard about weight struggles, we've heard about the problems that others caused when she was struggling through this. If you are still listening now, cause you are still listening now, you've been with Nomathamsanqa the whole time, Noma. You've been with Noma this whole time. The fear of corporate environment, the fear of, and then the reason why, because as the story went on, we kind of heard why she is afraid of that environment. And people need to take accountability. There was parents do better. People need to take accountability. Companies need to take accountability for the way that the environment is. Schools need to take accountability for the bullying.
Amen to that.
Schools need to take accountability. Parents need to take accountability. Ma'am, say, your child is a bully. And years later, someone will still be feeling it. Do something about that. check on your kids. Maybe they are being bullied and they just can't bring it to you because you are this parent that we are asking to do better. So guys, for me, this has been the first show that I have dreamed of. And I cannot thank Nomathamsanqa enough. Wait a minute, I can't. Noma.
A gift?
A gift. You do not walk out of here empty-handed.
Thank you.
I'm gonna show the viewers one of them.
Okay.
So this is a frisbee. You can throw it and it comes back or what have you. Or you can throw it at someone.
I like the second one better.
Total Health by Charlie will not be held liable by the actions caused by this frisbee.
If someone gets hit by a frisbee, it wasn't me. It was just someone that looked like me.
And the frisbee looked like this one.
But it wasn't me. Okay, it's on camera. Wasn't me.
Wasn't me. Noma, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. We will definitely have a comeback check up on session.
I think
with
a part
people.
2.
Yes, or a part 2 actually. If you feel that you because you're saying you feel like you shared and you feel like that you've helped yourself and you've helped others. If you say, hey Charlie, I've got another slot for you, and I'll say, why not? Let's talk through it.
Yeah.
But I personally would definitely love to have you again. And if I was to make one point, don't speed past the hectic things.
I think when you've gone through them, like one thing I've noticed is, for me, it's just like we went through it.
We'll put that away.
Thank you. So I think for me, it's like when you've lived in a world where people kind of speed past your problems, you then learn to kind of speed past them. Like even as I'm talking, I'm thinking these are just things that have happened. But I'm looking at your face and I'm like, oh, this is actually
not a light state.
This is not normal. This is not okay. I should probably really talk about it a little more. But I think it would be great to come back and just dive into some of those things. And
you just say when.
Sure.
You just say when. Everybody, thank you. This is the basics. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. I will say this again in case you forgot when I said earlier. If the comments take a negative and harsh turn, cyberbullying, I will just disable them. I will not stop the show because someone feels that it is okay to have phone balls, to bully someone through the comment section, to bully me, to bully my set, to bully Noma, to bully my guests, you know what? You will be fine someday. Actually, I hope you are okay. Let me not call you a bully now. Let me not pick on you because I'm feeling myself picking on you. But if you feel that doing something like that to another human being, if you feel that putting another human being in jeopardy and oppressing them makes you feel good about yourself, I pray that you find healing. I hope that you find healing. And when you do, and you want to come on this show and tell us, we will be glad to have you. Thank you so much. I am Coach Charlie, the great Charlie, Coach Charlie. Thank you. Thank you, Noma.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I fell in love with a stranger, going my heart, never to be seen again. So long. Danke, halt du ab.